A teacher expecting Florida to be the answer asked a second grader where Miami is located. But the answer she received was not Florida nor the Southeast. The little boy proudly proclaimed Miami is in the Midwest, which on first impression is correct, but confusing.
Gilliam works against Jones. I think he traveled. He did.
Of the 19 violations listed in the NBA rulebook, traveling is probably the most common. But until the NBA expanded to Miami, nobody knew how much traveling an NBA team would do. In elementary school, you learn that Miami is not in the West, but in the East. But in the NBA standings, Miami has been moved to the West, where their Midwest Division rivals are Utah, Denver, Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio.
I had no idea why we were in the West. I still can't figure it out, Midwest. I guess maybe because they figured we could beat San Antonio, I guess, and the Clippers and bet our record. I don't know.
If you're in the NBA, you do not have what is known as a typical 9-to-5 job. In fact, Rory Sparrow is the only Miami player averaging over 30 minutes a game. But that's on the basketball court. Where Sparrow and his teammates spend far more time is in the air. If you play for the Miami Heat, court time is little compared to flight time.
Up to this point in the season, Sparrow has played a total of 1,879 minutes. But to play those 1,879 minutes, Sparrow has had to fly 44,338 miles. By the end of the year, the figure will be at 60,000. Not bad for an astronaut making a couple of trips around the globe, but very demanding on a basketball team trying to compete against the Lakers and Jazz.
You get out to that West Coast and all of a sudden, boom, it hits you. And I've seen it happen the first night. I've seen it happen sometimes the second night on a West Coast trip, where you'd be running, and all of a sudden it's like you hit the wall. It's just, there's nothing left.
Not only in charge of loose joints, but also lost luggage is Ron Culp, who performs the dual role as Miami's trainer and travel coordinator.
Well, you try to tell them all the right things. You try to teach them that, dehydration is a problem on flights and that you have to drink 8 ounces of water every hour to try to avoid jet lag. But they still don't do it.
In the case of the Miami Heat, the more miles they travel, the further behind they become in the standings.
But as we mentioned, they have a pretty good time against the Clippers. They are beating the Clippers tonight at the half by 12. Now back to Skip and Rick. And by the way, next year Miami goes to the Atlantic Division where they belong.